All right, so today we are going to wrap up talking about volume. Tomorrow we are going to have a test that's going to go over perimeter, area, and volume questions. So today is your last day that if you don't understand something about volume, make sure you're asking questions. Today we are going to be doing combining volumes. Okay, remember combining means putting together. Okay, so this is much like what we did last week when we had a shape that was like this, and we had to find the area, and we would decide, do we want to cut it here? Do we want to cut it here? We had to kind of cut it up and then use what we know to find that area. Today is the same thing. So I'm not going to draw it because it won't come out looking as well as what's in the book, but it's the same combination or the same idea. We're going to have two shapes that are put together that we want to find the volume. So we're going to continue on, of course, with our volume equals length times width times height formula. So here's our first problem that we're going to do. Okay, now just take a second and look at that. And just kind of familiarize yourself with what you're seeing. Okay, I think that what I'd like to do is to separate this shape right here. Okay, so we did some color coding last time. I think I'm going to do the same thing. So this is going to be the green shape. Okay, so I'm going to do this volume first. And then, let's see, we'll do well, that's already a blue. Let's do a purple. So then this will be the purple shape. Okay, so let's deal with the purple shape first. Volume equals length times width times height. Okay. All right, so when you're looking at this, make sure that you're really paying attention to your dimensions. Okay, so I'm only looking at this shape. Now remember, if I'm looking at the length and the width, that means I have to look at the base shape, right? Which is right here. And ignore Lincoln in the background. He's barking at, I don't know, there's a cat or something outside. Okay, so I'm thinking about this base shape that you see right here. Okay, well, the length, remember, is the top or bottom. So that's right here, right? So the length of that base shape is 4. The width of that base shape is 2. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky, okay? I want this piece right here, right? But this 7 centimeters, remember, is for the entire shape, okay? Up and down here. But I don't want this piece because this all goes in the green shape, right? So if I look across over here, look here. So this whole thing was 7, but this right here is 5. Okay, so that's the height that I want to use for this shape. Okay, and then I just multiply. Well, 4 times 2 is 8, times 5 is 40. Okay, so this top, this purple shape is 40 cubic centimeters. Okay, I put that over here, 40 cubic centimeters. Now let's do the green shape. Okay, again, let's focus on this base shape that's right here. Okay, focus on this one first and do the length and the width. Well, that would actually be the length and the height, but let's focus on that. Okay, so volume equals length times width times height. Okay, so I see the length is right here, 4. Okay, this right here, this 2 is actually my height. Okay, so that's my height. And then I'm looking at the width. The width over here of this shape is 6. Okay, 4 times 6 I know is 24. and then times 2 would give me 48 centimeters. Okay, so 48 cubic centimeters. Once I have both of those, I add them together to give me the answer of 88 cubic centimeters. Okay, the next shape. Again, let's think of it. I'm going to cut it right here. This one is going to be our green one. Okay. And then this one is going to be our blue, or excuse me, our purple one. Okay. So, volume equals length times width times height. If I'm looking at this bottom purple shape, 10 is my length, 9 is my width, 7 is my height. Okay. I'm going to do this. 9 times 7 is 63. Because I know that if I multiply 63 times 10, it's really the same as saying 63 times 1, which is 63, and then taking that 0 and placing it in my answer, in my product. So that's 630 cubic meters. Okay, so I'm going to place that over here. 630 cubic meters. And now let's do the green. Okay. Volume equals length times width times height. All right, so looking at this shape. Now, let's not get confused. This 12 that's right here, that's for this whole shape. Okay, but I've already used all of this, so I don't want this 12. Okay, that is not my height. If I look all the way over here, look at this 5. That 5 goes for this right here, which is what I'm going to need for this shape. Okay, that's going to be the height. That 5 is the height of this shape. Okay, the length of this shape, remember, should be right here, right? Well, this and this are the length, correct? So that's going to be 4. Okay, and then width is the 2 sides right here, which I can see right here are 9. Okay, so let's do this. 9 times 5 is 45. Okay, I don't know 45 times 4 off the top of my head, so I'm going to do my math over here. Okay, so 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 2 is 18. So that would give me a volume of 180 cubic meters. I'm going to put that over here. And then I add the 2 together. That would be 11, and that would be 8. So 810 square meters. Okay, and one last one. Okay, take a look at that one. I'm going to cut this right here, I think. And I'm going to call this little skinny one is going to be the green. Okay. And then I'll call the bigger, kind of chunkier one on top is going to be the purple. All right, so volume equals length times width times height. So looking at this purple, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up here at this shape right here. This is the base of the shape, right? Because remember, the top is the same as the bottom, right? Okay, so if I'm looking at that, the length is right here, 5 inches. Okay, and the width is here, which is 7 inches. Okay, now it's where the height is that is a little confusing. This 8 inches that's right here, that's for this whole entire side. Okay, but that includes this little bit right here that's in the green that we don't want. So if I look over here, look at this 6. Okay, look where the arrow is pointing. It's pointing to this height, isn't it? Okay, so I want that 6 as my height. All right, I know that 7 times 6 is 42. I do not know 42 times 5 off the top of my head, so I'm going to do the math. So 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21. So the volume of this shape is 210 cubic inches. Okay, I put that here, 210 cubic inches. Now let's find the green. All right, so this is an interesting shape. I'm going to use this skinny piece as the shape that I'm looking at. Okay, so volume equals length times width times height. I see that the length right here is 15. I see the width of the shape is right over here, so that's 7. Okay, and don't get confused again. Remember, this 8 over here is for the whole entire shape, right? But we only want this little tiny one right here that we didn't use yet. And if I look way over here, it's telling me that this piece right here is my 2, and that's my height. Okay, let's see. I know that 15 times 2 is 30. I know that 7 times 3 is 21. And then I take this 0 and place it down. So the volume of this shape is actually also 210 cubic units. Okay. I know that looks a little weird because you're like, wait a second, they're both so different, aren't they? Okay, we got a small, like a flat, skinny one, right? And then a more chunky one, but they really do have the same volume. So they hold the same amount of liquid or whatever might be in there. Okay, so I add these together and I get 420 cubic inches.